Hey garden friends, welcome back to Flower Patch. It has been a day, let me tell you. I have wanted to get out here all day and get a video of the Secret Cottage Garden. It's the first week of October and I do these monthly garden tours, sometimes even bi-monthly, depending on how fast things are changing in the garden. But this week is really nice, 80 degrees, gorgeous for a few days, and I am determined to enjoy it. But I wanted to get a quick view of the Secret Cottage Garden on this date because in a week or two it could change. We could start having snow, we could start, rain, all of that unpredictable weather. And I wanted to get it while it was still so pretty and tell you some of the things that I am planning on changing and or doing or what I'm doing in there. So I take you through it all. So I hope you enjoy this video. And if you do, please give it a thumbs up and or share with your friends. Hey garden friends, here we are. Here, let's start the Secret Cottage Garden tour. Forgive the noise in the background again. My neighbors are blowing and you can see the dust flying over there. But they're almost done with their project, so it should quiet down soon. But I wanted to get the October Secret Cottage Garden tour out to you. This is the first week of October. It's been eventful. And that's right, here's the gate we made with, or gateway, the two containers with the dwarf Alberta spruce and the sweet potato vine. And look how the one on the right is so much thicker than the one on the left. And I do believe it's because it got more sun. But who knows, really. But that's the difference between the two. This container, it really never did what I wanted it to, but it's all good. I know I'll do something different next year with it, and it will work. But the stump below is rotting away, so who knows how long I will have that as a stand. So let's follow down the pathway. Hopefully the light is good enough for you. It's the evening. Time is winding down. The sun's going down in the sky, so I have some backlight. But this container, this tub is the one that I had dug out back in, I don't know, May. And I put my Coca Loca roses in it. Now look at this. Isn't this fantastic? I love these. I didn't know if I would or not. This one's gone over and I need to trim it back. But yeah, these petunias were volunteer. But I will put the Coca Loca roses in a larger container to grow on, because this is very short, but they did well this summer in it. They were just in 1 gallon pots and were struggling, so I had to do something with them. The coleus, that was what I grew from seed. I popped some out here and they loved it. This garden bed is going to get the same treatment as this one. You see I put a raised bed in there and I put wire mesh under it for gophers to protect whatever's in it from the gophers. But I hadn't started on this bed yet because I didn't want to disturb this poppy. Look at this thing. Isn't it gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. And look at that color. Earlier, I took a video and bees were buzzing in it. And it's closing up a little bit because it's cooling off for the evening. And yeah, it's just doing gorgeous. Over here is where I chopped back that HF Young Clematis and made a little trellis for it to go up and over the tool shed this next summer. Planning ahead. It bloomed on the opposite side of the fence where I didn't get to enjoy it as much as I would like. So next year it will be better facing this way. Let me step back. I want to show you something that I'm struggling with. I shouldn't say struggling. It's just something I know is going to take a while and or I'm going to change things. See my pathway? All of this is weeds that I have to constantly pull up. But the elfin time, when it fills in, it blocks out the weeds, and that's what I want. I want this to be all the way around all the pathway. I wanted that touch of green, and this seems to do well here. So I had tried other ground covers and they didn't do that great, but this does well. It's just going to take a long time and a lot of weeding because you see how there's elephantine right here, but it's getting encroached upon by the weeds. So that is what I'm working on with the pathways. So that's just an ongoing struggle. So the centerpiece, that has just delighted me from day one. So this really was a win. Mostly the seeds I started from, the petunias I started from seed. There's a few that snuck in here. I tripped there. That grew in, see the lighter purple there? Those were free, they reseeded themselves. And then this one from last year. So that's what happened with those. That one right here is Tidal Wave petunia, and that thing, it'll grow up tall. It'll go straight up support if you want it to. And here's another one that reseeded itself from last year. So I loved that one last year, and I may do it again in another area just because it is so vigorous, and it is pretty. The color is so pretty. Over here, the alyssum was a huge win this year. I'm going to do more around the borders. I'm going to do it in here and along the borders there. I have some over there that I liked, and it worked well. So that's my plan for next summer. And this Black-Eyed Susan was a volunteer. It's done beautifully, so I've just let it go and let it do its thing. This is my giant blue, big blue salvia, and it's been a winner too. So that's all good. So as we go along on this side, you will see down here these little purple flowers. This is my Bill Wallace geranium that I love. It's a pretty plant, puts out those little flowers, which they put out little seeds, and I will show you a little baby plant. So I can dig this up. There's another one over here, and pot them up to put elsewhere if I wish. Toss them in the compost bin or give away. So the ageratum down in here has been doing pretty good, even though I tortured it this summer. And I'm impressed. I'm going to grow it again next year, I think, and I'm going to be better at taking care of it how it should be, so I really get some stunning blooms. Firefighter Rose is doing well there. I just deadheaded it some, putting on more blooms. Yeah, just lots of things. My lime zinnias. Now, I don't care for the color, but they did bloom beautifully here. These are the only ones I started indoors, which normally I just direct sow, and the ones I direct sowed this year did not do well. So you may see my shadow there, but over here's some of the dahlias that did great. We'll take a good look at those in a minute. My Hyde Hall Rose is doing beautifully. This, I'm debating on moving this to the Rose Cottage Garden. And this down here, remember the last video I did in the Secret Cottage Garden, a tour? I didn't know what this was, and it finally dawned on me. This is my milkweed that came back. It reseeded itself from last year, and not in time for the monarchs to enjoy it, but I was thrilled once I figured out what it was. I have more milkweed. Let me move you over in there, and it never did well. I think I got too much shade and or too much water. So that's entirely a possibility. So let's back up and go back around the other direction and see how things are progressing. Oh, over here, I had to show you the Nicotianas. I keep these little tubs around, so when I'm out and I grab some weeds here and there, it's handy. So look at this Nicotiana. Isn't these beautiful? Let me see, is it focusing for you? Yeah, these were self-seeded. They just came up, filled in, and have done beautiful. My iceberg rose, it's in this container. It was over on the other bed, but I plopped it here because I had a bare spot from clearing stuff out. And one of the dahlias that I put over there, the dahlias I put in pots in the ground, in their pots, so that the gophers could not eat them. Now along here, let me scoot you down by the pathway. Look down here. These are larkspur babies coming up. So I can try to dig those up and transplant them. They don't always transplant well, but it's worth a shot because I'm going to have to just pull them up anyways. They get too big to stay in here. This is the other patch of alyssum that I said I was going to do more of next year. it smelled so pretty all summer out here. So my pretty in pink, I think it's pretty in pink, no, what was it, pink something, Gara. It's fading away now, but I just love that. I had some on the other bed where I'm doing the other raised bed, and it disappeared, and I think it got too much moisture. It didn't drain well, so it died. It was all the snow we got. I wanted to show you down here. These are my ground cover daisies. They only get about 8 inches tall, and they have bloomed nonstop, so I really like those. I'm going to move them because I'm doing something different in this bed. Like right back here, you see one of the boxwoods I got started in here. I want this to be surrounded with the boxwoods and then have the alyssum in front of the boxwoods. So that's why I'm moving everything else. Bag of rocks. Here's the stepping stones pavers that I pulled out when I moved the bench. Right here is where I moved the bench to. So it's all good. I was going to move the arbor, but when I set the bench in front of it, I liked how it looked, so I'm going with it as is. So more iceberg roses climbing up over the arbor. This dahlia has been tremendous. I love it. Love, love, love it. We'll get over there in a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. But look down here. I love this oxalis. This is a decorative oxalis. And you see it down here with the pink flowers. Now I'll show you the difference between this decorative and the weed. So how big those leaves are. Now look down here, and we'll see how tiny the leaves are. Yeah, that's the difference. Well, those over there are a little bit bigger, but those are also the weed. So I need to get in here and weed out the weed and leave the ground cover one that I love. But a friend gave that to me, and I just loved it. I love the little pink flowers on it. And it doesn't spread like crazy like the weed does, so it's well behaved. Now, okay, these, I have more of these, and we're just going to finish filling up this pathway all the way to the end. So it's all going to be these pavers. So that's the plan with that. So I have some sedum back there that is filling in beautifully. I have my moss heart back here, which I will move it. Let me move the bench forward, and you can see where it is back there. It doesn't quite look like a heart because the one in the back part of it died and whatever. I will pull that up. So let me fix my dahlia after I bent it past the bench. So this dahlia, as I said, I have just been thrilled with it. I love it here next to the bench. And when I sit here to do an intro video or something, it's just so pretty in the video. I love it. But yeah, that's in a 1 gallon pot in the ground, and look at it. It's just tremendous. Over here is my Hyde Hall rose. I don't think I showed that. Maybe I did. I get ahead of myself. I've done this video 3 times. Once I had no sound. Second time the sound was blown out, and now the third time, hopefully I'm getting it right. So I kind of forget of what I did and when. So this is Thomas Edison dahlia. And I'm not sure what this one was, but they came in the same package. It was a mixed package from Longfield Gardens that I picked up at Costco. And I had given up on dahlias, thinking, no, they're just too difficult, take too much room, and don't do well for me. And then these decided to knock my socks off this summer. So I'm rethinking it. There was an orange one I had one year, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm going to try to find that one. So down here, my gomphrena is kind of going by the wayside, but I did enjoy it. It didn't get that tall. It got shady. It was shaded here, so the blue jays are really going crazy in the trees. I don't know why. So here's the tie-dye petunias, but they no longer have the white streak. I think as they get less sun, they have less streaking. So I keep hearing noise. I wonder if the bears are around back there behind my greenhouse. They have been very brazen, I should say, coming around. And a mountain lion too. So whenever I hear sounds, I try to be aware. But down here is where I dug up the one clematis. And there's a sweet pea climbing on this, and it's going to seed. I'll let it go to seed, and it will reseed and come up. Just right there. Do beautiful. This one was a reseeder. It just reseeded itself and came out and bloomed all summer long. Here's another Nicotiana. Did beautifully. Here, I have a bud coming up on my Colette rose down there. And the one thing, the Colette rose kind of got scorched in the summer heat. The blooms did, so it didn't look real pretty. But it's in the spring and fall, it's pretty. So here's my globe thistle, also echinops. I don't know if you can see it there that well. Now, I had said, well, no, I didn't tell you in this video. I had said I was going to show you the beauty and then the beast, or the garden of shame. So here's that's coming up here. Look over here. Yep, this is the mess. Now, if you have an area that's a mess, this should make you feel so much better because this is truly a mess. Now, this has been the catch-all spot because we cleaned out under the deck, everything. This was the landing spot for many things. And as we were going through it, we cleaned it up. Now we're going to clean this up even more because we are extending the garage out here. That's the plan anyways. And so they're going to build out over my greenhouse. It's going to have a second level as far as the garage is. And then on the second level is going to be a large glass greenhouse. Or so I'm told. So we will see how that flies. But I'm going to have to move this rose. This is Kiss Me Kate Arbor Rose. If you ever want to get a climbing rose that does outstanding, this is it. This will bloom. It bloomed fabulously all summer. It has been a vigorous grower, and it the blooms did not get scorched in the heat of the day. So it held its blooms very, very well. So all is well and good with that, but I'll show you more along the side here. So as I said, this has been the Garden of Shame, and too bad because this is a neat area. It's just kind of hard to grow in because it gets a lot of shade in the summer, but and then part sun, so you can't go too full shade plants and you can't go full sun plants. So anyways, that tomato there was a volunteer from last year, and I just put an obelisk there for it to climb up, give it a little support. So, my friends, let me go over there. You can see the DIY greenhouse. I got the panels to cover it, so that's going to happen really soon, before the first snow, I sure hope, before the first freeze, so I maybe can get tomatoes into December. We'll see. It's a goal, but I'm pushing it here. So that, my friends, is the Secret Cottage Garden tour on this first week of October and what it looks like now. And now this could change. It could change in the next week. I could get a big freeze and all of these flowers would just turn black. But I'm enjoying what I can enjoy while I can enjoy it. And I hope you enjoyed this video too. I've tried to do a video of each of the gardens each month so we could keep track of the progress. And in fact, in my September Rose Cottage Garden, I did the tour of it. I showed you a before, how it started. I wonder if I could grab a clip of the before of the Secret Cottage. I'll try. No guarantees, but I'll try. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.